Alright, hello everyone. Just doing a little update here. This is part of the street crossing that I've been working on lately. It's been a little bit slow on it. I haven't had too much time to work on it, but got about one half of it done. As you can see, I've got the road down and mostly painted. The sidewalks in there. Still working on the other half of it, but part of it was what I'm working on. I've always wanted to do one of the crossing signals, so I've got I ordered one of the NJ International signals here. Fortunately, the one they sent me, it seems to be one of the older ones that doesn't have any type of like actuating rod, like the piano wire, or even doesn't even have a hole drilled in it so you could add one. And I don't have anything that can really drill through brass that small of a hole, so I kind of came up with bending my own to go kind of around the gate to push it up and down. It's all hooked up to a Tortoise underneath the layout, and then I've got hooked up temporarily right now to just a DS64, so I can turn it on and off with my Digitrax system. Eventually I'll have to get the circuitry for automating the whole crossing, but for now this at least lets me test everything out and see if it works. So surprisingly it didn't turn out too bad. I know these automated crossing systems are a real pain to try and install sometimes. I mean, everything's really tiny. I haven't done anything with the lights yet. I'm gonna have to wait for the actual crossing circuitry to come before I do that, but it does seem to work pretty well, surprisingly. It's just got an actuating rod that runs pretty much straight up from the Tortoise. I know you can get fancy, levers and pulleys that you can get for that Circuitron sells, so that you can actuate both at the same time or whatnot. All I did was hook up one Tortoise and to the one crossing gate here, and then my plan is to use another Tortoise to do the other crossing gate and just wire them together. So other than snipping off the excess piece of the wire and maybe painting it silver so you can't really notice it so much, that's the only thing I have to do other than doing the lights. But other than that, I'm surprised it works as well as it does. So really all I have to do now is do the other half. Move the train away a little bit, get the gondola in there, so you can see the rest of the road isn't completed yet at all, so that's probably what I'll work on this afternoon. And eventually I'm going to have to get the circuitry to wire it all up, but hopefully the other half goes as smoothly as this one. So I really wish I would have known when I ordered it. The one in the picture looks like one of the newer signals from NJ International, so I just kind of assumed it would come with all the actuating rods and stuff like that. But so far I think this I can make work. So alright, you guys have a good one. Well, as long as I was here, I figured I might as well show you kind of the underworkings of how I set it up. As you can see, I've got the Tortoise. This is the bench work all under there. The tracks are up there. The feeder wires. I mounted it on its side, so I had to get an extra piece of scrap wood to mount it to the bench work too. So you can see I just got a piece of piano wire that runs all the way under there and goes all along, and then it goes, I don't know if we can see it up in here, it goes all the way up under there through the layout up to the signal. surprisingly, it worked out a lot better than I thought it would. It was really the only way I could figure out how to automate the crossing here. I can show you how it works. You can see all it does is basically the right angle in there just pushes the wire up and down through the roadway where it hits the crossing signal and moves the gate up and down. I used the smallest piece of piano wire I could find just so it had the most flexibility into it, because I'm sure the end of the wire down here moves up and down further than I actually need, so I wanted some springiness into it so it wouldn't, push the signal, up off the layout or anything like that. So that's how I did that one, and I also have to do the other one under here somewhere. I just have to figure out how I'm going to mount it and what I'm going to mount it to, but that's pretty much how it works.